if you could just, kind of give us a brief intro, tell us what's going on all around here.
Okay, at BosKone, we're on 2 levels of this hotel. And unlike a lot of other conventions, we try to keep things as wide open as possible. So this area, this Galleria floor, is, we kind of think of it as our living room. We have the art show over there. We have our con suite, which is hospitality. We have our dealer's room over on the other side. But in here also we have a discussion group going on right behind you. And another one, coffee clutches, which has now been taken into the art show. Plus our office area. This is our internal office space. And we also try to keep it as open and transparent as possible. It's all part of the same thing. We have an area in the back of this room for a children's programming called Dragon's Lair. And we also have our gaming set up in a section right over there. And the only things we have up in the other parts of the hotel that aren't is kind of in this big open area are separate program rooms and things like that, so which need a quieter space.
Yeah. Yeah, so looks like you have a really, pretty big office going on here. Do you guys, how long do you start prepping for this?
I'm running next year's convention. We've already started thinking ahead of it.
Oh, wow.
Well, we, in this office area, we have our art show staff, our program staff, our information and volunteer staff, our treasury, our newsletter, and our sign shop. So it's all, it needs a space to sort of spread out. We kind of run the whole convention through this little unit, so it's not as bad as it looks. How long do we think? We really do plan a lot.
Yeah.
So this is the 47th one that we've done, and I guess we've got ideas.
Yeah.
And this is probably, I'm not sure, I can check with the treasurer, but there's probably it's close to a $50,000 to $100,000 budget involved by the time you're in and out and finishing all this. So we have our hotel negotiator work out of this office. It's a lot of planning. We have over 120 people on the program alone. They're usually contacted in October, and we develop a program for them. The art show is the same way. I'm exhibiting some things in the art show this year.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Could we come back after our next conference maybe, and you could maybe show us what your art is?
Yeah, okay, I don't mind that. Mine is mostly jewelry and things like that.
Oh, yeah.
And yes, you're allowed to get pictures close up if the artist gives permission, so we can also find some of the artist view if you like.
Yeah, that would be fantastic.
Sure.
So, who is actually responsible
Sorry,
for all of it?
Down there, so she was like on all the time, like doing, behind the scenes production and whatever, sort of clicking things. And I don't sure she thinks she was out on the street doing interviews, but she said she was going for 48 hours straight. She's young? Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a lot of work.
We're
is that
rolling.
okay? Yeah? Okay, great. Yeah, the other question I want to ask you is, who actually is responsible for all of this?
All volunteers.
All volunteers?
All volunteers, none of us are paid. The NESFA, New England Science Fiction Association, is a club that's been in existence since, I guess, the mid-60s. I haven't been around that long, but this is what we do for fun. It's work, it is work, but it's lots of fun. It's being part of the community.
Yeah.
And it's basically, we just volunteer, we learn. I've learned a lot. I've been doing the program a lot for a number of years, but it's not something I initially thought I'd ever learn how to do. So it teaches you skills along the way. You volunteer, people let you do it, you get staff. None of us are paid. And we want more people. Please, help us. We're getting old.
Well, we're in. We just discovered this convention was happening from one of the authors, Ethan Gilstor.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right.
He told us about this, and we were like, oh, we have to go. And we looked at the program, and just every forum looked so fantastic.
And if you want to talk to Ethan later on, he'll be at the autographing table about 1 o'clock. So
oh yeah. I'm
cool.
actually interviewing him on Tuesday.
Excellent.
So yeah, and we're gonna interview Vernon
Vinci. Yes. Vernon Vinci. He's our NESFA Press, our science speaker.
Yeah.
We had a person, there was Hal Clement, who is a science teacher and a pro. He's a professional, but he was also highly involved in our organization for years. And he died about 8 years ago. So in his honor, since he was a scientist as well as a science fiction writer, we've been bringing people out each year with that title. So Vernon Vinci is our Hal Clement science speaker this year. We have a number of guests. We have our guest of honor, Alistair Reynolds, our official artist, John Boccaccio, and I saw him. He's in the art show, so he might be able to get permission. Two press guests, because we have the press thing that I'll show you in a moment, our press wing. That's another thing we all do volunteer. We publish books. And we have a filker, who's a singer, who's very, very fine that way. And we try to cater to a lot of other interests within the community.
Yeah.
But the big thing is community. It's sort of like a big family that does too much.
Yeah. Oh, well, I mean, it seems like it's just enough. It's a lot of fun.
And
so,
we're a relatively small convention as far as some of these conventions go.
Yeah.
We're just a little over 1,000 people. In many years past, this convention was up to about 6,000 people, and it was more than we could handle. It was more than most of the hotels can handle. So we went through a rather drastic downsizing, and now we're back up to sort of where we feel comfortable, though I think another couple hundred people would be great. So,
how many people do you guys usually expect for this?
like I said, about anything from 800 to 1,100 is where we've been averaging. Of course, a lot depends on our guests and what the weather's like. We really sweating out the snowstorm that's supposed to descend upon us last week.
Yeah. So one thing we were talking about on the way over here, it seems like there's a lot of science fiction authors here,
Oh, yes.
a lot of writers.
Yes.
And do you think the audience is also a lot of writers? Is this kind of a writers convention
No,
as much as
that's a great question. We have a lot of authors. We also have a lot of, we have people who are editors, we have people who are not writers at all, and scientists and fans. But we also have a lot of new writers, wannabe writers, people who are interested in writing, and to help them out, we probably have about close to 20 program items that are more designed for those new writers. Workshops on advertising themselves, workshops on like why research for fantasy, program items about the business of writing as well. And they've been very popular, so it's something that we definitely want to encourage. And even besides the planned program activities, this is a chance for people to get together, to talk to their favorite writers one-to-one, or to each other, and just share information. And I think that's one of the things that this particular convention of the Boston area conventions does really well.
Yeah.